is for so much income. Kaya hindi natin pinipigilan yung registration ng bagong company, anong bagong sasakyan. Ganon din sa
Nako.
Naputol na naman si Sir Bobby. Tol, I'm sending you the link now, ha. Ito na yung yung link sa private chat. Meron tayong private chat. Nakita mo, meron dyan. So, you can use that link to share sa page mo. Sa Facebook page. Sa Facebook account mo. Ayan, o.
Where is it?
Dun sa private chat natin. I can send it to you rin sa ating messenger.
Messenger na, Tol.
Ito. Yun. So, we're live already, Tol, ha? Pinapadami lang natin yung audience. Sa mga bago lang nakinig, please do let us know that you're watching already para we can accommodate you. Alam mo ba, Tol, si Jason Luengo ng Tribu guested on this program months ago at namigay ng mga GC.
Really?
Oo.
Galing.
So baka mamigay tayo ng tsinelas mamaya.
Okay, good.
Para sa isang lucky viewer. So make sure to say hello and drop a line or two on our message board right here on Istoryang Futbolero. And Sir Bobby, as we get set for our topic tonight on Istoryang Futbolero. All right, Sir Bobby, ready ka na?
Yes, so.
Okay. Here we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Istoryang Futbolero. My name's Ron Poblete. Welcome to the program. I have two special guests for tonight's Balitaktakan, ika nga nila. First, let me introduce former Undersecretary of Gloria Macapagal Arroyo back in the early 2000s. Sir Bobby, tama ba?
Yes.
Si former USEC Sir Bobby Capco. Sir Bobby, welcome to Istoryang Futbolero. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation tonight.
Good evening, Ron. Good evening, PJ.
Yun. Siyempre, yung aking kaibigan, matalik na kaibigan from high school ay nandito rin. Kasama natin siya ngayon. He just came back from the States. Matagal ka rin doon, Tol, no? Mga isang dekada ka rin na sa palaran sa Amerika. Si PJ ay isang businessman from the USA who is now back here in the Philippines to share his expertise, no? Because it's a very important time here in the Philippines, especially now that we have a year and a half to go before our president steps down. And PJ feels, correct me if I'm wrong, Tol, you are here, you're back in the Philippines because you want to help in your own little way. Whatever it is that you can offer, you are here to help out. Tama ba, Sir? Tol?
Absolutely. And by the way, thank you for having me, Ron. And good evening, Sir Bobby. And I look forward to whatever we're going to discuss, and hopefully me and Sir Bobby will be able to make a significance in whatever this topic or we will touch on. And I'm quite excited. And once again, thank you for having me. And by the way, I was in the US since 2003.
2003, so that's like 17 years. Mga 17 years.
Wow.
Pero pabalik-balik naman, diba? Because I have business here.
Ang maganda dito kay PJ, apart from the fact na yung aking kapatid, si PJ na nagtagal sa Amerika, ay yung mo rin, yung connection mo sa military page, medyo malalim rin kasi yung father mo used to be a colonel, tama ba?
Yes.
In the military.
Yes.
And you have...
service?
Sa
Army
po. And by the way, let me rephrase the connections. I would probably say friendships.
Friendship, yes. Maraming kaibigan si PJ sa military, kaya
You're a camp You grew up in the camps.
Not really. We visited the camps because the camps na kung saan na-assign yung daddy ko, nasa bukid eh. Kasi nasa bukid.
Yeah.
So we get an opportunity to visit once in a while. Of course, we get to see him when he comes home.
Oo, mahirap ma-assign sa army dahil sila yung frontliners talaga sa dealing with the lawless elements, meaning the rebels.
At saka sir, maraming makulay na mga kwento to si kaibigan ko si PJ about the history of Davao when it was still called a war zone or ang tawag
The killing fields.
killing
Oh,
fields.
yeah.
Davao. And your father, Pidge, no, medyo mabigat rin yung trabaho niya that time because of the peace and order in Davao.
Yeah.
Wasn't as good.
Marami NPA noon.
Marami pang NPE nung time na yun.
Yes.
That time. They were allowed to, kasi, at that time, bago naging mayor si Digong, yung mga NPA talagang they considered Davao their R&R area. So, nag-ooperate sila dyan. Yung kanilang assassination squad, grabe yung operation dati dyan.
Sir Bobby, naalala ko nga nung bata pa ako, first time ever to see a dead human being. There was like, I think he was a major in the PNP at that time,
Wow.
PC. Sa tapat ng tindahan namin, binaril ng mga Sparrow na tinatawag. Di ba,
Sparrow
Pete?
unit.
Daming nun, di ba? Daming mga incidents of assassinations done by the CPP-NPA.
Yung Sparrow units na yan, they come from the so-called Alex Bungkayaw Brigade.
Yun, tama.
Incidentally, that Alex Bungkayaw was a CPP-NPA member or leader in Southern Tagalog who was killed by an army colonel. Oo. Si Romy Lim. Okay. Sabay nila Ladan Lim, si Romy Lim.
Alam nyo, kung hindi nyo alam, no, kung ngayon lang nyo narinig si Sir Bobby Capco, apart from having the privilege to serve GMA back in the day, si Sir Bobby ay isang journalist, sir, di ba?
Yes,
Nung
I was
panahon pa ni Ramos, tama ba, Sir Bobby?
panahon pa ni Marcos actually, 1983.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So kung if we want to ask anybody about about political history, about the Philippines and its political history, we can go all the way back Marcos time, and Sir Bobby would have something interesting.
Tama ka. Antigo na ako, sabi nga ng PhD, antigo na ako eh.
Antigo. Pidge, meron nakakilala sa'yo dito, si Denji. Is PG from Davao City? I had a classmate in Davao City ICC in first grade. Sino tong Denji na to?
Wow.
First
grade 1
grade.
pa lang, naalala ka.
Wow. Wow. And to think I had hair during that time, huh?
Thank you to Jerry O for watching tonight. Also, we have a few people who are watching from abroad. Marami tayong OFW na viewers kasi itong Istoryang Futbolero. I'd like to acknowledge somebody from Israel also watching. Si Samuel Anticamara, watching all the way from Nagoya, Japan. Yun ang mga namimiss natin sa Bobby, yung mga travels, no? Kasi ngayon, bawal pang mag-travel ang mga tao. Nakakamiss pumunta sa mga bansang ganyan. Don Pilonio, good evening. Joy Salao and Candice de Jesus Erorita, greetings from Baguio City. Yon. At we have somebody watching all the way from Tokyo as well, and another one from Japan. Dami nating viewers from Japan. Yon. So, tonight, Paige, kasi gusto rin natin gusto natin mag-pay tribute to SAF44. It is the anniversary of Mamasapano. It's what was the term that you used in your caption, Paige?
Which term?
the term about this period in history, which your mom accurately used.
Yeah, ignominious.
Oh, yes. Diba?
Nominous.
Oh, diba? Yun yung ano eh, yun yung, a very a profound way of describing what happened. Was this Sir Bobby 3 years ago? No, 2000. No, sorry,
No, that was 15.
years,
6 years ago.
6 years ago pala. Panahon
January 25th.
panahon ni Pinoy, yung itong pangyayari ng Mamasapano, and I think he hasn't really removed the tag or yung notoriety of how this was handled by his administration. So first and foremost, let's ask first Sir Bobby. Sir Bobby, can you give us a little, um, in the best of your memory, how did that event transpire? Ang kasi yung meron mga ano 'di ba, merong mga witness accounts, and even the officer who was in charge of the operation testified, right, about what happened, and the first thing talaga that's very glaring, kaya maraming tao na gusto talagang kasuhan si Pinoy, is the fact that malaki talaga yung role that Pinoy played in the debacle that is the Mamasapano,
Mamasapano.
'di ba?
Yes.
Slaughter of our soldiers.
Actually, if I remember it right, it was an operation pushed by then PNP chief Purisima,
Mm.
di ba? Si General Purisima, to capture si Subkipli Abdir, yung number one Malaysian terrorist bomb maker na merong reward from the US government na mga $6 million yata.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yun ang actually parang well,
Patay tayo dito.
yun ang chismis sa ang sa mga sa insiders group na kaya daw pinayagan ni Pinoy yung yung operation na yon. It was to allow Alan Purisima to retire with that much money. Hindi lang yata $6 million yun, mas malaki pa yun. Oo. Unfortunately, that operation failed. Not in killing yung terrorist, but lalo pang dahil nahuli sila nung pinatay nila si Sulkip Diabdero, na-trap sila noong mga kakampi, mga kamag-anak nung asawa ni Sulkipli. Kaya nakipagbarilan sila. Yung asawa ni nung terrorist na yon, member din ng MILF at saka MNF. Na malapit lang. So, nung sila tumatakas, natrap sila doon sa ilog. Yung grupo ng PNP Special Action Force. And supposedly, sayang yun kasi alam mo, yung SAP, panahon pa lang ni FBR, kilala ko na yung mga yun, among the most disciplined and most trained combatant ng Philippine National Police. Parang halos army na rin sila sa kanilang training.
Yeah.
Yes, so halos na rin sila kasi there was a time when dealing with the rebels were reassigned back to the PNP from the Army and the Navy. Kasi nga, dapat yung Army and Navy were supposed to deal only with the external armed enemies, di ba? So, binalik sa PNP. So, tinrain nila talaga yung SAP. And yung grupo na yon, yung grupo nila General Napeñas was among the best trained group. Kaya nga sila yung na-apply na mag-operate doon. Ang problema, na-trap sila.
So, sir, I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to recollect what went on, no? Yung why it was such a big disaster. Even si Okay, Sir Bobby, General Napeña, no, is the person who's the
Yes,
officer in charge of that operation.
General
And-
Napeñas was the commander of the Special Action Force that participated in the operation.
So he became the scapegoat, 'di ba, Sir Bobby? Parang siyang
pero actually sila ang kwento noon ng mga taga Malacanang was that sila Pinoy at saka si General Purisima, well, specifically si General Purisima was directly supervising the operation.
And ang ano doon, ang pinaka malaking mistake doon at naging very controversial is si General Purisima at that time was suspended. Tama ba, Sir Bobby?
Yes, yes.
And
dahil talagang pina-approve niya ng diretso kay Pinoy, kay President Noynoy Aquino noon, without having it approved by or known by his boss at that time, si DILG Secretary Maro Rojas.
Okay.
Yes.
Pidge, ikaw yung ano mo, what's your input on the whole thing, no? When it happened?
Okay, here's my take. In no way, just for a disclaimer, in no way am I an authority to may echo, Ron.
Meron pa?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, okay. In no way am I an authority to discuss military matters and what happened. But this case kasi is very close to my heart, no? Because I understand how the families feel being a son of a military man who also lost his life because of this conflict that we have had, for decades with our Muslim brothers and sisters. So malapit yan sa akin. I understand how the family feels, no. And my take kasi there is tama si Sir Bobby. There were certain irregularities of how it happened. However, for me kasi it's the bad part about this that I see is the part where a mistake or a setback of a few officers actually reflects on the whole military, which is for me totally unfair. Okay, and by the way, also Ron, when this happened kasi, like we were talking a while ago about this, me being friends with a lot of military, I have very high respect, and most of the military people that I have met, especially from the academy and from the PNPA, are brilliant, But like any organization, there will always be some people who I should say could do better. Could do better. And like I said a while ago, this operation, although considered legitimate, could have been planned much better. Why?
Yeah.
Why? Ito yung akin ang take ko dyan, Sir Bobby. Okay? This was a very crucial operation where you're trying to capture yung mga A1 na wanted na mga personalities. So, as far as my very meager knowledge of military operations, you don't just go in without, covering all your bases. I'm sure they did. But the thing is, at the end of the day kasi, everybody nagpapasa-pasahan na no, we didn't know anything about it. And ultimately, President Aquino says, I was not informed. I was not briefed. for me kasi,
Yun sabi niya.
yun sabi niya, I was not briefed. And then, of course, the commanding officers were also saying that, we were not given the go signal to send reinforcement. And if you look at it kasi, in a larger perspective kasi, these 44 went in there based on the preliminary commands that they were given to them by the commanding officers. That's why they're called commanding officers, not suggestive officers. When they command, you follow. So they did.
Yes.
Okay, they did. And so when this all happened, after the fact na namatay na yung 44 and people were starting to pass the buck, pasa-pasa na sila kaninong kasalanan, ultimately, I would say, only those people who were privy to that operation will know the real story. As far as we know, everything is speculative. We're all speculating.
Yes.
In defense naman to the military officers kasi, for them, whether there was something anomalous or there was a hidden agenda, they exercise their authority to command. The problem I see here is, instead of Pinoy, like President Duterte always says, I take full responsibility, he hides under the statement, I was not informed. I was not informed. So sa akin, para bang, that's why you're called the commander-in-chief, that's why, so if you're not informed, tama nga naman yung public opinion or the court of public opinion when they say na kasalanan mo. Di ba?
Tsaka, Paul, if I may just add, if I
Oh.
may just interject, Sir Bobby, to what PJ said. Yung nag-uusap kami about ni PJ nga dun sa nangyari, and we were talking about Pinoy. Far cry from what happens in the Oval Office sa White House, diba? Alala mo yung kinapture nila si Osama bin Laden, and they were in a situation room, and you have all the Joint Chief of Staff surrounding the president, telling him, oh, this is what's gonna happen. Ito yung mga out na. Ikaw pa nagsabi, Peach, diba? Merong plan A, plan B. If something happens na that we will not be able to anticipate, meron tayong another way to meron tayong other approach na worst case scenario, kumbaga, na pwede nating gawin. Pero dito, parang apparently, Peach, wala silang ganun. And
also, Ron, this is also one thing you have to remember. I know kasi that military operations are important. But as far as I know kasi, I mean, again, my opinion, I'm not basing it on the creed of the military here in the Philippines. The operation should be successful, but one of the secondary importance is to bring all our men home. Okay?
Yes.
Bring all our men home. They said the operation was successful. What happened to plan B by bringing all our men home?
Correct.
Diba?
Sir,
so yun
ang problema nila.
Yun ang problema. How we bring our men home?
Sir Bobby, napag-usapan ni na Peña, di ba? Sabi niya, meron ng coordination pala sa AFP. Kaso si Pinoy intervened at sinabing wag daw makialam ang military dahil iniiwasan nila
Sabi ni Peña yun. The truth is, itong balita ko, and I'm kasi alam mo naman, ang hirap kasi ang gusto nilang masolo yung reward money. So from the very start, hindi nila in-inform yung kanilang mga counterparts sa Army, sa Air Force, at saka yung ibang ng PNP. Kasi gusto ng grupo nila Alan Purisima na masolo yung reward kay Marwan, kay Sungkipli Abdir, who happened to be the brother-in-law nung si Abdul Basit Usman, na isang MILF at BIFF leader.
Sir Bobby, sino si Marwan? May nag-mention dito, narinig ko na rin yung pangalan ng Marwan. Siya ba yung yung target nung SAF?
Yes, kasi si Marwan, siya yung mayroong reward from the US government, offered came up with a list of terrorists in Asia. And Marwan, or the pseudonym of Abdul Basit Usman, who is a bomb maker expert.
Mm.
Oo, ng Jemaya Islamiyah. Jemaya Islamiyah is the extremist Islamic group that had been launching terrorist operations against U.S. and other Western targets.
So Sir
In,
Bobby, you're saying na no, wala talagang coordination between the military and the SAF commander
well,
or yung grupo ni Purisima.
nung papunta na sila, siyempre, nakita nung mga army, di ba? Kasi papasok sila sa teritoryo ng MILF di ba? So, nakita sila. Siyempre, mga ano yan mga naka-truck, nakasakay sa truck. Bumaba sila sa highway na binabantayan ng army, di ba? So, alam ng army na meron silang operasyon. Pero yung pagpapaalam na, oy, tulungan nyo naman kami. Pagka magkaroon ng problema, wala. Kasi masyadong mayabang Masyadong
Sir Bobby,
mayabang.
wala bang naging point of contact doon sa operations nung medyo under siege or under attack na yung SAF? Hindi ba sila nakipag-coordinate sa military, sinabi or humingi ng tulong?
That was the time when General Napeñas requested his counterparts in the Army and the Air Force to assist them. But unfortunately, at that time we already had a peace agreement with the MILF. Okay, I cannot blame the Army and the Air Force because technically we had a ceasefire with the MILF, and merong lugar doon sa Mindanao, lalo na doon sa Mamasapano, na hindi pwedeng pasukin ng any member of our armed forces. Now, if they coordinated with the MILF, di ba, yung leadership ng MILF, then probably, pero yun nga yung problema sa ganyang operasyon because Marwan was a very famous operative ng Jemaya Islamiyah. He is also the husband or live-in husband of the sister of one of the key leaders noong MILF doon sa lugar. Protektado talaga sa mga tao doon. Hindi naman sa magtatagutom kung hindi sa kilala ng mga leader doon. And unfortunately, yung era na yon, despite being the territory of yung mga talagang extremely anti-US, anti-West Islamists doon sa area na yon, part pa rin ng MILF territory. So, hindi pwedeng basta-basta pumasok yung Army or Air Force nang walang permit from higher up, meaning from the President himself. Kasi yung Presidente mismo ang nagmo-monitor ng supposedly ceasefire with the MILF
Speech.
To add to that, sa akin kasi, like once again, it's based again on on my experience with being around military friends, and I'm not saying that I am quoting them on this, Ang sinasabi kasi, 'di ba, when you conduct a certain operation, and I'm not, I'm like I said, only they know in that inner circle what really happened, But sa akin is, if you already have, if you think that there will be diplomatic problems or it will affect whatever treaty or peace talks are in place, then you should probably go back to the drawing board. And I do understand bakit naging covert yun, because nga, tama nga si Sir Bobby, na they were allegedly protecting this personality, So, syempre, kailangan covert. It's just the same thing as what the US did with Osama. They did not inform the government that they were coming in, 'di ba? So it was the same thing. However, gaya nga ng sinabi ko, if there was truly miscommunication or lack of communication, then hopefully this serves as a lesson to present military leadership na hindi na to pwede mangyari. And then going back naman to Pinoy, I don't know, no? Again, it's my own opinion. I cannot believe that he was not aware of this.
Kalokohan yan.
I cannot believe that. Like I said, tawag nito, again, freedom of speech. I cannot believe you are the commander-in-chief, which means if people below you are operating without your knowledge, then you have no right to be commander-in-chief. Di ba? Okay?
Tama.
And of course, when you mobilize things like that, ang nangyari kasi, ang thinking ko, para bang he was probably briefed that this was going to be a walk in the park until shit hit the fan.
Yes.
And so, as I was also telling you, when you plan an operation like this, and it does not have to be military operations. It can also be associated with any kind of planning you make, whether you're organizing a trade show or you're organizing a wedding. You always think, if this fucks up, do I have an out?
Yes.
Diba?
Oo.
You always think, hindi naman military lang all the time. It's common sense. You're sending 44 people who will obey your command no matter what. How do I bring them home if something bad happens? That part, hindi na pag-aralan, and probably, all due respect to President Aquino, he was probably told that this is going to be a walk in the park. The intelligence is precise. We will grab them, extract them, and they forgot so many moving parts. And when it happened, it was too late. It was too late. Diba? Kung magkakaroon pala ng peace talks, pati diplomatic problem, sana, sandali lang ha, mukhang maaapektuhan ang buong military at buong gobyerno nito sa feedback if something goes wrong. Hindi nila naisip yun eh. And for whatever reason, Sir Bobby said it was because of the reward and all that. For whatever reason, if there is a compelling reason to do it, at least naman put into consideration how do we get our soldiers out. Diba? Whether there is a reward or no reward or miscommunication, dapat first and foremost is how do we get them out? Because tama si Sir Bobby, we are entering something we agreed on that we will not enter.
Yes.
So yung red flag na yun, tol eh. Red flag na yun.
I think the best explanation to what you just said, there's a very telling experience or moment during this disaster of an operations when the bodies of the SAF44 soldiers were brought back. Naalala ninyo yung instance na naging...
And Pinoy was in the opening of Mitsubishi.
Exactly. So yung doon pa lang makikita mo na kagad ano yung mindset ng tao. Para sa kanya parang wala lang yung nangyari na yun eh. For him to not attend that ceremony, the arrival of the bodies of the SAF44 goes to show, what he thinks of that situation. Parang to him, it happened. Anong magagawa ko? Tapos meron pang nagfo-float ng mga litrato. I know it can be out of context sometimes when you look at things or content on social media, but there's this very telling or stark photograph of Pinoy smiling while in the funeral ceremonies where you see former President Ramos in na medyo downtrodden, malungkot, pero siya, of all the people there, siya lang nakangiti.
Nakangiti.
Meron
Diba?
akong question. Ito, interesting question ito. I will throw it to Sir Bobby. No? I was telling you that let's look at it in a different perspective. Can you imagine if this happened and PRRD was commander-in-chief?
Ay, nako. Sir Bobby.
Okay? So if this happened, sus, kung hindi ba tayo binalatan ng husto ng media, lahat na Commission of Human Rights, international, gano'n na. Okay, that's a thought I will leave you. But the second thought is, if this was PRRD, and that
Hindi
happened.
mangyayari yan.
So, let's say hindi nangyari. Let's say, the same thing happened. Wala na, naggera na.
Yeah.
Screw the peace talks. You just
Yes.
killed 44 of my men. I will bomb the shit out of you, di ba? Iba yung, makita mo ang iba ba? Because for me kasi, it's command responsibility. Di ba? It's command responsibility. And if you notice, si PRRD, anything that happens, no matter where it is, hulo, I remember somebody telling me,
Lahat kontrolado niya.
he was in Russia.
Mm.
The president was in Russia.
Yes.
When the Marawi
Siege
war,
happened.
the Marawi siege happened, he cut his trip short to come home. Okay? So sa kanya like I said, it's totally different, and so sometimes it makes me wonder, bagay, we're talking about something that's already done, no? And as I was telling Ron, no, na the leadership we have right now in the military, kawawa naman, like in any organization, nobody can be perfect. The problem is the media always capitalizes on what is being done wrong by 2 or 3 people when you have 233,000 policemen or whatever, that are doing their jobs. But nobody seems to notice that. That's the sad part lang now. Like for example, sa SAF44, Purisima and all that. The problem is, nagkaroon ng backlash sa lahat eh. And I think that is also totally unfair. And that's totally unfair. And hopefully, like I was telling Ronnie kanina, Sir Bobby, that this does not happen again. Parang ganun ba? Yun lang naman.
Hindi kasi ang unang-una, one reason why Alan Purisima was very confident that he can do everything nang hindi questionin ni Pinoy is because from the very start pa lang, noong presidente pa lang yung nanay ni Pinoy, kaibigan na niya si Alan Purisima. Because Alan Purisima was already a SAF official. Kapitan pa lang siya noon. Well, actually, tenyente pa lang nung nakilala siya ni Pinoy. And I think Alan was part of his security detail kasi napunta sa PSG sila Alan Purisima saka sila General Ebdane. Si General Ebdane talaga ang boss ni Alan Purisima eh. Doon siya naging kapitan. Doon ko siya na-meet actually sa Malacanang nung kapitan na siya. Talagang malapit sila dahil unang-una si Pinoy was really close to his security people. And then, pagka ganun ang relationship mo with your boss, na ganun kahaba na, diba? At alam mo na yung kanyang personality, you will just do everything. At ang kawawa dyan ay nasisi sila General na Peñas kasi dapat nung umpisa pa lang, di ba, you're right, PJ, na yung operasyon coordinated na with the military and everything para paglabas, meron ng support kagad. Malapit lang sa highway yun eh. Malapit lang sa army yun actually.
And also
Next
Rod,
town.
yeah, and also Rod,
ando na yung
Okay, go ahead, Sir Bobby.
Oo, malapit lang actually yung Mamasapano na yun doon sa detachment ng army. Di ba? So dapat at the very least nakita nga sila nung checkpoint na dumadaan doon sa highway. At pagbaba ng truck nila doon sa tabi ng highway, papasok sila doon sa lugar nila Marwan, nakita sila talaga ng mga army na papasok sila doon. Sinabihan pa nga si Napenas na, bakit kayo pumapasok dyan? Meron tayong ceasefire with the MI. Di ba?
Tsaka alam mo Sir Bobby, kung pwede ko lang idagdag no sa mga description mo sa mga pangyayari before this happened. I think ang pinakamasaklap at saka ang pinakamasakit, what's very glaring sa this huge mistake made by the ones who handle the operations of the SAF44 is in just a few minutes, I think less than an hour, lumabas na sa social media yung mga bangkay ng SAF44
Yes.
na nakakaawa na inaabuso ng mga kalaban.
Yung
Tapos,
mga ano mismo, yung mga kamag-anak mismo.
'di ba? Tapos itong biglang nagpalusot pa yata si Pinoy na parang yung communications daw down the line or papunta sa kanya ay matagal daw umabot sa kanya na ganito pala yung nangyayari. Paano nangyari yun, Sir Bobby? I mean, you've worked in Malacanang before, and you know
Palusot lang yan. Palusot. Alam mo, ganito yan eh. You remember yung Luneta Massacre?
oh, yun pa. Ayan. Oh.
At that time, my first wife was in the hospital. So, andun ako. Nung pagbaba ko, tapos na yung massacre. Naabutan ko yung isang deputy spokesperson, si Abby Balte, at saka yung Secretary of Tourism. Kasi nabalita na nga, nagkaroon ng massacre doon sa Luneta eh. So sabi ko sa kanila, bakit andito? Tapos nakita ko yung mga jarista, saka mga photographer at cameraman, nag-aantay doon sa labas ng ospital. Sabi ko, anong ginagawa niyo rito? Sabi ni Abby Balte sa akin, papunta si Presidente rito eh. Kasi yung mga bangkay ng mga
Chinese
turista na massacre, doon dadalhin sa Manila Doctors. Sabi ko, mga siraulo pala kayo, no? Kasi andun lang nasa Emerald restaurant lang si Pinoy during the entire operation. And patapos na yung kainan nila doon, kaya pupunta siya doon sa hospital para tignan yung mga victims. Sabi ko, mga siraulo, kulang sila sa appreciation na yung public talaga ay hindi ma-appreciate na inalaw mo na mangyari yung ganyang klaseng violence. And then yung leader mismo ng bansa natin, di ba? Malalaman ng mga tao na nanggaling sa kainan. Nagkainan kayo doon sa ng crabs na mahal-mahal doon sa Emerald Restaurant, di ba? Ganun ang pagkatao.
Ron, isa pa Ron, to add on to that, no? I believe kasi, like for example, if you are a leader, no, you cannot be somebody who possesses all the skills. So for you to be effective, you gather people that can help you be more effective. Correct, di ba? Because hindi kaya lahat eh. First of all, Pinoy has no business getting into military matters. I don't even think he did ROTC. Di ba? So sa akin yan is kung alam mo that crucial yung area, because like what Sir Bobby was saying, this was not just Mamasapano. There were events prior to that proved that he is not capable to lead on military matters. So dapat yun, because it is a concern as a leader, kagaya ni PRRD, you have to, if he actually said, you know what, if you have to tell me everything that happens from toothpick to battleship, any small operation to the biggest operation, I have to know before you execute it. He is authorized to say that. But I don't think it ever crossed his mind na that was crucial for him, throw everybody under the bus.
Hindi lang yung, alam mo, utak kasindero. Hayaan mo na yung kapatas na gawin lahat, di ba? Sa pangalan ng mga may-ari. Wala siyang pakialam kahit anong mangyari. Basta kailangan na maitanim mo at maani yung di ba?
Naalala ko tuloy, Sir Bobby, another example
mga utak Panginoong may lupa sa tenga.
Totoo yan, sir, pero medyo extra special rin to si Pinoy, sir. nalala niyo yung may isang press conference at in-indulge niya yung criticism against him about lacking empathy. At kumuha pa siya ng definition ng empathy, kung ano ibig sabihin nun. Tapos the way he explained himself, it would appear na talagang, oh my gosh, this person talaga is out of touch when it comes to these things, no? Kasi wala, he seemed to be parang slightly annoyed by it, and at the same time he didn't kumbaga explain himself well enough for people to understand, and for him to actually talk about it. It only goes to show that he's a little bit medyo ma-pride chicken, at kulang talaga he is like a walking irony for him to talk about it, and talagang displaying to the rest of the public, to the Filipino people,
Kulang sa
that
empathy.
kaya nga exactly yun ang nakakatawa, kasi ini-explain pa niya yung sarili niya kung bakit ganun.
Biro mo, nangamatay na nga yung mga bata mo, tapos ganun pa yung attitude mo, di ba? So you should be aware of how you should carry yourself as a leader.
Also, Ron, to touch on a different topic, but related to this main topic. Talking about the families nung SAF44, no? I am a son of a fallen soldier as well, no? But the media is sensationalizing the the rights or justice for the families, and I do agree to that. I mean, don't get me wrong, no. I don't know where this is going to go. Only the people in who handled or are handling this case. I don't know if there's going to be a reopening. I really don't know, no. But they do deserve justice. However, being a son of a military man who died in service, when my dad signed up for that job, we knew what we were in for. Kumbaga, we knew that if somebody asked my dad, or a high-ranking officer asked my dad to go there, and sa military, when somebody says jump, you don't say why, you say how high. Diba? And that if you married a military person, that any day, he may not come home.
Yes.
But I guess what they mean about I'm not being unsympathetic with the families, though. I'm very sad that this had to happen to them, as much as I'm sad it had to happen to us. I was 15 years old. I was the eldest of three brothers and one sister. So talagang it was difficult when my father passed away, and I'm sure that a lot of the staff families right now are also suffering the loss. The difference is lang, when my dad died, the government had no support. One time, big time yun. At least sa panahon ni Duterte, although it was not even during his time when this happened, sa time ni Duterte, he pledged, and I think came up with a resolution, or na for as long as these families are alive, the government will support them. We never got that. My family never got that. My mom had to raise us by herself. So although I sympathize or empathize with the families, I'm pretty sure that they understood that when they married their husbands, that they know one day they will not come back. Yeah. I guess the cry that they have right now is basically somebody has to take the blame for this. Now, my question, what will it change? What will it change? Let's say, okay, we reopen the case. What do they want? Do they want Pinoy to go to jail because of this? But if you go within the perspective of the law, it was an operation. Whether it failed or not, it was a sanctioned operation. Pumalpak lang nga. Diba? Pumalpak lang nga. That is why, kumbaga, going after who is to blame, although it's a good cause, in my opinion, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Diba, Sir Bobby? Hindi going to go anywhere.
Ang palpak talaga doon yung hindi nila hindi nila natulungan agad.
Correct. You know?
Ano yung proseso kasi, Sir Bobby? Marami rin kasi yung mga syempre na ayaw kay Pinoy. Gusto talaga siyang kasuhan dahil fresh, kahit na matagal na yun, 5 years or 6 years ago yung pangyayari, it seems like it's still fresh in some people's or some Filipinos' minds what went on and how
Ako gusto kong kasuhan, Ron. If you ask me, yes.
dapat
Command
kasuhan.
and ka because the buck stops with you.
Yes.
So you telling me that I was not informed? For me, it's the biggest bullshit on earth. That means you don't control and you don't have an organized group for you not to be informed. Di ba?
Siyempre, to save his president, hindi na sinasabi ni Alan Purisima na na sinecure niya yung approval ni Pinoy. Pero yun talaga ang totoo doon. Na talagang hindi naman kikilos si Purisima ng walang approval ni Presidente. Ang masama nun hindi man lang sinabi kay Mar Rojas na boss ni.
Isa pa yan.
Di ba? Ganun talaga utak nila. Wala silang pakialam sa ibang tao. Basta magawa lang nila
yun yung dysfunction talaga ng previous administration, Sir Bobby, na kaya paminsan hindi dapat nagtataka yung opposition kung bakit wala silang support coming from the public in the last few elections because these things kasi can't be forgotten. I mean, yung mga kapalpakan na ito na lang yung pinakasimpleng bagay na lang, Sir Bobby Pidge, yung tanimbala sa NAIA. Ay, napakasimpleng problema at hindi nila masolba. 'Di ba? Tapos ang daming naagrabyado and naging newsworthy pa for some time, Sir Bobby, medyo nasa news cycle yun for a long time, 'di ba? And ano yung comment
paano yung manager ng airport, yun ang supplier dati ng babae kaya.
Ayun na.
Ayun. Diba? Yun ang problema dyan yun ang problema dyan sa mga yan.
Sir Bobby,
dating taga-Western Police yung manager ng
sino nga yun, sir? Sino nga yung dating yung rin yun, medyo notorious rin. Ha?
Kaibigan ko yun.
Kaibigan? Ay,
Tama ko naglalagad sa Ross Boulevard dati yan, taka Super Dim.
Hindi na kita tatanungin, Sir Bobby, kung bakit mo close yun. Kung ganun yung kanyang reputation.
Kasi, alam mo, yung ngayon, naabutan ko report, pa lang ako, estudyante pa lang ako. Nagrarally kami sa Mendiola nun. Sila yung mga katabi namin na, kasi sila Fred Lim yan. Sila yung mga kumokontrol sa mga, sa mga marcha, di ba? Nung panahon, you remember, nagkaroon ng kudita noong 1989, di ba? At naambo si Pinoy. Di ba? Meron siyang mga kasama doon. Oo. Hindi sa PSG. Meron mga chismis doon. May lumabas na story dyan actually.
Oh. Lalaki mo ba
Bata. Bata pa lang. Kuliyala. Oo.
Anyway, Ron, sa akin lang, no, I mean, like, on this topic, my probably my final words would be, just like what I posted that my mother actually, that I got from my mom.
Yes.
We could have done better in that operation. So we could have done better. I mean, like we have brilliant military people, and I know that for a fact because I'm friends with a lot of them. And they're hardworking, they're brilliant, but once again, it is unfair to judge the whole organization based on a few bad fruits. No? That's number one. Number two, hopefully because of this lesson, although 44 families had to suffer, hopefully it does not happen again. And the third one is, I believe it will not happen again if we had leadership that actually the right people supporting that leadership. And of course, if we had leadership that is hands-on. Kung
Yeah.
napansin mo, like I said, not because not because I'm a Duterte guy, but I'm 50 years old, and I've been around several presidencies. I have never seen a president come out every week reporting to the country
Mm.
about what's going on, to the down to the grassroots of naming all these scalawag barangay captains who stole fucking part of the what you call this, the ayuda of the people. I have never seen a president, that actually came out and reported to the country, and his staff having an open forum with the media regularly. Never. I've never seen that. Mar Rojas could not even handle Yolanda.
Yeah.
He couldn't
Alam
even
mo,
handle Yolanda. Isa lang yun, ano na yun, calamity na yun. Isa lang.
Nagpa-photo
alam mo,
ops
meron
naman
ko
doon.
yung nag-cover ako ng siguro akilala ko mga presidente ng Pilipinas simula nung panahon ni Cory. Si Cory, and then afterwards si FBR, di ba?
Mm.
And then si Erap, and then si
Jimmy.
kilala ko. At saka yan si PRRD dahil mayor siya nung presidente si GMA. So, alam mo, nakita ko lahat kung paano mag-operate, kung paano magtrabaho yung mga tao na yan.
Yes.
Si Cory ay parang pareho ni Pinoy. Laid back. Kasi nga, mga asindero nga eh. Hayaan mo na yung mga kapatas na gawin yung trabaho, di ba? Bahala ka na, basta yung gusto kong resulta makuha mo. Di ba? Kaya nga nagkaroon
may laid back, sir, pero may pagka-stubborn daw itong mga Aquino.
Oo,
pag
matitigas
meron
pa.
silang
Mayayabang pa. Kasi sila nga yung sila nga yung regalo ng Panginoon sa bansang Pilipinas.
Sir, before we continue, sir, maganda yung mga comparison mo, sir. Ituloy natin, pero gusto ko lang basahin itong mga mensahe, mga messages coming from our viewers. Sabi nila, Len Peralta, PRRD knows King? Not sure what that meant. Sabi ni Winnie Santos, Purisima and Pinoy didn't study the Muslim culture. Muslims wake up early to pray. The incident happened at dawn.
Wow. Mga tanga talaga.
Sabi naman ni Rosalie Austria, hello Sir Ron, happy to see you again. Sa live mo, watching Banateros ng KSA. Wow, sa Saudi Arabia. Hello din po sa mga guwapong guest mo today. Mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Thank you, Ma'am Rosalie, for messaging us tonight. Sabi ni, ito hindi ko mabasa kasi in Japanese, pero hopefully, I see this name all the time. Thank you so much for watching all the way from Japan. Correct, Sir PJ. Dapat kasuhan sila yung mga hindi sumunod sa protocol. Sabi naman ni Melody Mugerza, does the Yamashita standard apply to the case of the SAF44? Sir Bobby, ano yung mini-mini dito? Ano itong Yamashita standard na sinasabi ni Melody? Sir Bobby. Okay, anyway, we'll go back to that in a bit. Sabi naman
If we will apply the Yamashita standard, we should hang Pinoy.
Ayun pala yun. Okay.
Yamashita standard doon is the command responsibility.
Yes.
All right. Good to know. All right. So hindi ko pa na yun. I'm not aware of that. Si Alex Louie, sabi nga po ni Abnoy sa press conference, tatay ko namatay din. Abnormal talaga, sabi ni Alex Louie. Sir, totoo ba yan o fake news yan? Talaga bang sinabi niya yan sa sa kanya conversation with the families?
Oo, wala talagang yun eh. Wala talagang empathy yun.
Oh my gosh.
Hindi niya talaga alam, hindi niya alam makipag-usap sa mga tao. Sa totoo lang. Ang problema kasi sa kanila ay dahil nga Panginoong may lupa, umaasa lang sila sa mga tao rin nakapaligid sa kanila. So, pagka makikita mo sila na nagsasalta ng magaganda, di ba? yun ay galing sa mga script o mga speeches na sinulat ng mga makata at mga mahuhusay magsulat.
Oh, okay.
Kaya maririnig mo sila pag magbasa sila ng ang ganda-ganda, di ba? Mga kala mo napaka galing sa puso. Pero
Oh.
actually, sinulat yun ng mga magaling na manunulat.
Sir, kilala ba natin yung mga manunulat o yung mga speech writer
Oo,
ni Pinoy?
nakatawa ko dati yung mga yun eh. Mga
Lupit.
nagtrabaho sa akin yung mga tao na yun. Kaya alam ko.
Ayun, marami pa tayong comments dito. Salamat po sa inyong pagkinig at pagnood sa ating programa. Aquino Lorenzo, good evening. Nice topic on SAF44 heroes. And sabi ni Denji, ito maganda to, Pidge. Hanlon's razor applies to Pinoy. Never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by stupidity. Nice one. Okay yan, maganda yan. Magandang comment. Pwede nating i-post yan. Sabi ni Karina Etzel, hello Kuya PJ. Ina here. I think the obvious question here is why was the PNP hiding this from the AFP? There was an obvious instruction from the higher ups as to why this was. I guess we will never know the real reasons why. Ayun, from Katrina.
Ayaw nga nila mag-share sa reward money.
Sir, totoo ba talaga yan, sir? Baka ano lang yan, sir? Baka chismis lang yan. Talagang
Magkano ba yung reward money?
$5 million. Oo nga pala, Sir Bobby, saan napunta yung reward? Anong nangyari dun sa reward? May nabigyan ba? May nabiyayaan ba dun sa reward?
Yeah, sure.
Alam mo, Peach, I want to touch upon what you said kanina, no, about leadership. Kasi this is a two-part topic and 1 hour into SAF44 and the Mamasapano na issue is we can't avoid talking about politics and the future. Obviously, I know it's too early to talk about 2022, but you know how it is. We need to remind people also that the importance of choosing the right leaders. Because ultimately, you chose Pinoy to become our president back in 2009. And whatever problems we encountered or happened during those times, I'm sorry to say, but we have to blame ourselves also for voting for this person to become president. Why? Just because the former president Cory Aquino died, bigla na lang siya yung pinaka naisip nating mas magandang pumalit because of nostalgia. Ano ba, Sir Bobby, explanation mo doon? Bakit ba nanalo si Pinoy? Hindi naman siya talagang qualified to become president to begin with.
At that time kasi, dapat kasi ang kandidato ng oposisyon si Maroas. Pero nakita nila hindi niya kayang manalo. So sabi nga ni Maroas, kailangan ng game changer. So they posted Pinoy and they saw that because of the public revulsion doon sa issue ng corruption ng panahon ni Gloria, si Pinoy represented the concept of good governance. Dahil, ganun, yun ang lagi ganun ang brand, yun ang quality ng Aquino brand na binibenta nila. Di ba? So, na kunyari mga sila, mga hindi corrupt at saka honest and transparent.
Yung kanyang infamous slogan na tuwid na daan.
Oo. Hindi pala hindi tuwid. Tuwad na daan pala.
Tuwad na daan pala. Ikaw, Tol.
That's why Pinoy won. Kaya nga nakakatawa yung mga tao nila. At saka even Pinoy himself because they really thought that people voted for elected him president because they wanted him. They did not see that the reason why he became president was because people did not want a corrupt president, not Villar, not the others na nakalaban niya. Because he represented the concept. The messaging was very good. Like yung message ni Presidente, ni PRRD noong tumakbo siya, na campaign against crime, campaign against
Tunay na
illegal
pagbabago. Yun yung slogan ni Sir ni PRD.
Oo. Di ba? Genuine reforms. Kasi by the time na patapos na yung term ni Pinoy, yung talagang revulsion naman ng tao doon sa leadership ng Philippine elite, political and economic elite sa Pilipinas. Na which Pinoy and Vice President Leni Robredo and Marroas ably represent.
Sir Bobby, let me just answer yung question niya ni Donic Solpico. Sabi kasi niya, ano ang experience niyo nung nakatrabaho niyo si GMA? Sir Bobby. Okay, nawala. Tol. Pidge, ikaw kasi, Sir Bobby, answer that question later once we get your internet connection right back. Tol, ikaw, I don't know your political affiliation as far as the United States is concerned, or I'm sure you voted for president last November. It's no different, no? I just observe na medyo yung cult of personality na phenomenon that's happening in the Philippines have somehow, or it has been always there in the United States since sinusunod rin naman natin yung sistema ng Amerika. Little brown Americans nga tawag sa atin, ginagaya natin parati yung mga Amerikano. Pero how do you explain yung cult of personality sa Amerika naman, and why this resulted to a Trump administration for 4 years, and now, they realize na, we need another change. But
well, here's the thing, Ron. I think I know where your question is going now. But sa akin kasi, like you said, the way that things are handled, politically in the US and the Philippines is not really. There's really a very slight lang na difference, no. The only thing is, like I said, let me touch na lang on this present administration ka PRRD, no, because I have not been really exposed sa Democratic and Republican na for that long, and the way I look at it kasi is that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. However, you just look at history lang. So that being said, the Duterte administration, if you notice, everything that is being said and everything na inaatake siya has to do with what? Human rights, ang corruption sa, ang corruption sa mga leadership na nilalagay niya, which is so funny because during Pinoy's time, even the Mamasapano, nobody ever stressed on the point na leadership, it is because of leadership. Pero pagdating kay Duterte, lahat ng palpak pati bagyo is because of leadership. You see the difference,
Yeah.
You see the difference yung panon, and I think it all boils down kasi, Ron, and I know you've been in media for the longest time. It's who media chooses to soak on and based on. Diba? So,
ng elite leadership yung media.
Correct. So, nagkakataon lang ngayon, like I said, ang laki ng difference, you can see it night and day ba, na sa panahon ni PRRD ngayon, ang biggest question ko, and I've asked you this several times, why is it na anything goes wrong, he is the king of the corruption. He is actually the biggest drug lord. He is a ruthless killer. But nobody really talks about what he has done in the last 5 years. And you and I are aware what he has done. The other day nga, I wanted to post lahat kayo na panay ang reklamo against kay Duterte, huwag kayo dumaan sa Skyway, ha? Huwag kayo dumaan sa Skyway.
They question the results of the surveys showing that he is the support of the majority. Pero
Correct.
pagka yung survey maganda para doon sa kanilang patron, 'di ba? Tamang-tama 'yun, hindi dapat kino-question.
Correct. So sa akin naman,
Kaya ang
if you relate it na sa US government naman, sa akin, I look at it, I try to see always in any government naman kasi, I always try to see the good that the administration has done. And then if I weigh in the the things, I wouldn't say bad, no. If I weigh in the things that could be improved, then I will see right now, okay, if that's the case, that will now be by basis and decision of who I will support in the next election.
Mm.
Kaya nga na sinasabi ko, you see me post all the time, ang dami niyong reklamo. Okay, so that when the next election comes or the next campaign period comes, campaign hard for your candidate.
Mm.
Kasi
tama yun.
Kasi kung hindi, tiga Davao na naman ang mananalo. So 6 years na naman kayo magsakit ang ulo. 'Di ba? So for me, why are we
Matatalo sila, huwag ka magalala.
why are we attacking somebody that only has a year and a half? Okay, so if you think that he has not done anything, the votes and the people will always decide. But my question to you, Ron, and I'm doing this right now in public, it's like, how come all these negative things that are coming out have so much exposure, and a lot of things that PRRD and this administration has done right nationwide, from how they handle the earthquake, bagyo, lahat, bakit hindi natin napapalabas niya na sila man sana, kayo man sana ang administration?
I have
Diba?
2 points.
Kasi
That's the biggest question I have
Sir Bobby,
media,
you can chime in sa akin sasabihin na kasi yung medyo to Sir Bobby sa ating mga pinapag-usapan even before, 'di ba? Na yung media, Sir Bobby would know, is adversarial talaga by nature to government. So they're always like
hindi lang yun.
and I'm just saying, sir, that's the primary general reason why media is usually the watchdogs, di ba? The fourth estate, sila dapat yung talaga binabantayan yung gobyerno. So it's incumbent upon them, it's their nature to actually make sure that to correct government if they're making a mistake. Unfortunately, the problem with our media now, with this administration, is they're very biased, talagang extremely biased. And I'm talking about just a few names. We have the ABS-CBNs, we have the Rapplers of this world, the Inquirers of this world, na who are totally against this president. So,
alam mo, ganito kasi yan Yung media kasi is part of the problem of this country.
yes.
Masyado na silang nadala ng kanilang elite thinking na sila lang ang nakakaalam kung ano yung tama para sa bansa. Kaya nga,
meron pa nga silang they call themselves, even ABS-CBN is known to be the term that's being used is the kingmaker. Diba, Sir Bobby?
Yes, tama. Sa sobrang believe nila sa sarili nila, nakakalimutan nila na yung mga taong bayan, hindi na naniniwala sa kanila.
Totoo.
Kasi wala silang ginawa kundi magbalita ng krimen. Di ba? Yung mga addict na pinapatay daw, ng minamasakir daw yung mga addict, at saka yung mga drug pusher.
Para sa tao, Sir Bobby, sigurado tayo na they might not say it in public, tol, but most of the people who live in these areas that used to be filled with drugs and drug lords, ran by drug lords, these communities that we're talking about, are very happy with the current administration because all of a sudden, natanggal lahat ng mga ito. Tol, maalala ko, nag-ikot kami there's this place in Quezon City. You live in Quezon City now, no? There's a scary place in Quezon City called Culiat. And we visited that place before and started talking to the neighborhood. And we even spoke to some of the policemen who were assigned in Culiat. First thing na ang question ko, sir, kamusta ba yung kulyat before the PRRD? Ay sir, nakakatakot dito. Hindi ka
Actually, Ron, si Jing just swung me by Kulyat last week and said that you don't want to be walking in these streets.
Yes.
Diba?
During those times, even policemen are afraid to enter that compound. Kasi delikado talaga. Pero nung pumasok daw si PRRD noong 2016, it took less than a year, Sir Bobby, no? Nilinis lahat ng mga pulis yan. Pati nawala mga drug lord, mga drug dealers, mga pusher. And for so many years, even up to now, if you ask people about peace and order in their communities, they're gonna say the same thing. There's like a trend na ang laki ng pagbabago talaga nung simulang umupo si PRRD pagka-president.
Hindi mo na makikita yung mga adik sa kalye.
Correct. Sila na yung takot. Di ba dati yung mga tao takot maglakad kasi maraming addict na nakatambay lang sa labas. Tapos ngayon, addict na ang takot lumabas. Kasi baka daputin sila.
Hindi naman. Ron, my thing also kasi is we have friends that are anti-administration and they will remain our friends, no?
Of course.
And I always respect their opinion because remember, they also come from an experience, an emotional experience. Of course, they also have their sources, no? And so every time I am caught in that situation, that's why you know which friends I'm talking about, and we love them to pieces, right? So there's no argument there, no. But the thing I always say, kasi like I said, is the fact that this administration has done more than any administration I know. But if you expect any administration to do everything right,
to be perfect,
that means it's the second coming already of Christ, diba? Because if even in our own household we cannot even get our shit together, and we're only 12 people the most, diba? And you expect one man to make all the right decisions. I mean, that's preposterous, but it doesn't ba? So for me, I mean, there might be administration people listening right now. I would just like to tell you guys that we respect how you feel and your opinions. If it is fact-based and you think and you are really sure that what you're saying is based in facts, then good for you. So I guess in the next election, find somebody that's perfect, so we can have a better country. In the meantime, because we have this present administration, I think it would also be fair to actually look at the fact that this administration has done a lot of good.
It's getting things done.
Yes.
Diba?
Yun lang naman eh. To be fair ba? To be fair na lang man.
It's funny, Tol, kasi just recently, there's good news about LRT1, the extension to Cavite. And I remember one president that we just recently talked about saying na magpapasagasa daw siya sa tren. Pag nagawa daw pag hindi daw natapos. Pag hindi nagawa, yung LRT extension papuntang Cavite, kaso hindi nga nagawa. As in zero ang natapos sa proyekto nung pinramis niyon. Sir Bobby, tama ba?
Yes. Kaya nga kuha ko sa inyo, hindi ko napapansin yung mga yan kasi matatado rin naman sila eh.
and then meron pang mga comment. Sabi ni Duterte na in 6 months he will get rid of the drug problem. Sabi niya matatapos itong COVID ng December. 'Di ba? Parang gano'n, 'di ba? Sabi ko rin sa nanay ko, matatapos ako ng high school ng 4 years eh. Nag 5 years ako. You understand what I'm saying? There are things that people, I'm pretty sure that when President Duterte said he would eradicate the drug problem in 6 months, he was not aware of how deep and how vast this problem was.
Malalim talaga.
But he did what he could do. COVID, as a leader kasi, you have to keep the hopes high. In April, how do you think the Philippines would have felt if the president said, this will be over on 2023? Diba?
we're gonna be in
Di
we're
ba?
in deep shit.
Di ba? So, di ba? So,
Sabihin mo sa
kumbaga, we are in a situation, Ron, na damn if you do, damn if you don't.
correct.
Di ba?
Alam mo,
So, ang
Alam mo naman,
hirap eh.
Sir Bobby knows, expert yung mga dilawan, yung mga opposition sa pettifogging eh. They like to
oh yes,
scrutinize everything that the government is doing. The smallest thing, smallest mistake, they want to make big out of it. You know? Kaya nga tawag pettifogging eh. Sir Bobby, that's a political term that people, I don't know if people are aware of it. But that's
they're
being
so
used.
petty that hindi mo dapat pinapansin eh.
Correct.
Mm.
And nagtataka sila Sir Bobby kung bakit hindi sila kumbaga hindi lumalabas yung mga pangalan nila sa mga survey at mahina yung kanilang uh, resonance sa publiko.
Kasi,
Dahil dyan.
kasi nga, hindi nga sila tuned sa gusto ng tao talaga.
Oo nga
Unlike
eh.
the president who really knows kung ano yung gusto ng tao at ginagawa niya kung ano yung gusto ng tao. Di ba? Like
Tapos
dealing with the addicts and the drug pushers and, being top on corrupt officials.
actually,
Kaya nga
Tol,
bawat butas,
ako Sir Bobby,
napalaki nila.
tanong si PJ kasi si PJ, yung transformation niya from a teenager na medyo talagang you'd think PJ would be yung landas niya magiging talaga how would you describe it all growing up? Was it turbulent? Yung mga pinagdaanan mong nung kabataan mo? Pero
Well, in a few words, I'd probably say I had a lot of fun. I think I overdid it. I think I overdid my fun.
Pero Tol, you understand the drug culture, di ba? I
Of
mean,
course.
you know why the rationale, because we lived in Davao before. You understand the rationale behind the president's policy against drugs and why it worked in Davao. Can you explain to them a little bit why the president feels this is the effective way because of his deep understanding of the grassroots on how?
Well, here's the thing, no. If you ask me, okay, I would never support extrajudicial killing.
Of course not.
That's for the record, okay? Because each man deserves his day in court.
Mm.
However, when it comes to leadership, kasi, and you only and you're handling a city where it used to be the killing fields, where drug use was rampant, harap-harapan talaga, and you're there, you would want to deal with things quickly, no? Quickly.
Decisively.
Yes, decisively and in the most effective way. How I'm not saying that killing people was the most effective way. However, the way it happened in Davao, we actually cleaned up the streets pretty fast.
Mm.
Pretty fast. And however it was done, I don't think Mayor Duterte at that time, really, for him it was like, well, it's people are being gunned down who are allegedly drug pushers and drug addicts. For if it's making my city better, I mean, then find out who these people are. But for me, it's like I don't really mind.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not saying that he agreed to it, but for him, he executed fair warning. You do not do it here. Was the method correct? A lot of people will not agree to it, but all the time I say a lot of people who don't agree to it are the people who actually have not had problems with drugs, and it has not hit home for them. When you have, diba?
Yeah, alam mo Tol, best thing to tell people, kasi especially the ones who haven't experienced using shabu, because primarily what the president hates the most is shabu. If you probably talk to him, he'll say shabu is really the thing that really irks him, that he hates with a vengeance. What
No,
does
and,
shabu?
and- no, and it's not, and Ron, it's not actually it's not shabu that he hates. It's what it does to families that he
Exactly,
hates.
exactly. Can you explain that, Tol? Why the president keeps on harping, always, he keeps on repeating the fact that it destroys families, and then it shrinks your brain. It makes you do stupid things like
Yeah.
commit crime and whatnot, especially at the level of the informal settlers. Once this permeates or enters these communities, it's hard to stop. Because why, Tol? You understand the mindset of
Yeah, because first of all, like I said, I will not as a
Nawawala ka sa utak mo.
as a teenager kasi like I said, I enjoyed my teenage life
mm,
too much, no? And the way I look at it kasi, that's why it's called the poor man's cocaine. No?
yes.
So number one, when if you deal, if you talk about people in poverty, and a lot of times, you have nothing to eat, so you eat one meal a day, you have to work, you know, this
Yeah.
particular drug kasi gets you going, di
Mm,
ba? Hindi ka kumakain, hindi ka natutulog, so people like, okay, this is although it's a little bit expensive, okay ito because I can drive the whole day, you know. And some people, of course, when you get into the A and B market, for them it functions like a party drug, where you get to drink more without getting
mm,
drunk,
mm.
diba? So, but the thing is, just like anything that's synthetic, at a certain point, it starts to affect your brain. No,
Yes.
it starts to affect your personality. It starts to affect your physical appearance,
Nakasira.
and yeah, and then hindi ka na pumapasok ng school. Crime starts to increase. Why? Because it's not a cheap drug, but because you're hooked to it, you start thinking about ways on how to acquire money
Man.
to be able to purchase the drug.
And
So
it
and then
removes and
yeah,
By any means.
it removes all inhibitions, Tol, no? Once you're
yes,
totally in that high, talagang
correct,
hindi ka na takot to do
correct.
whatever, diba?
Yeah, and so the cycle continues, tol, and then it starts morphing into different communities or different social groups where naging ano na siya ba, yung tipong it becomes a part of the lifestyle na ba?
Mm.
Because I have known several people na pag nag-review ng board exam or bar exam, they take that so that they're sharp, and then they can study more, hindi sila inaantok, di ba?
Mm. Mm.
Pero they start to justify the use of the drug.
Right.
The problem is,
Lahat naman.
the problem is they justify the effects that work for them. They justify the good feeling that they have when when they use it. But what they don't see kasi is, it starts encroaching now into the family. It starts
Yeah.
affecting education. It starts increasing the crime rate because syempre mahal ito. So syempre magnanakaw na yung tao to be able to sustain their vice, no? So as a whole, it affects the whole city. Diba? Because if this drug was not effective in that negative manner, people will not risk their lives to get into this business.
Yes.
Diba?
Yeah.
They will not risk their lives to get into this business. Especially kaya nga ako, believe na believe pa rin ako sa mga pusher ngayong mga panahon na ngayon not to think the mandate of the strong mandate of the president against the use of these drugs. But still, people are still trying to do business.
Mm.
And because this is
Malaking
happening,
pera.
because maraming pera. And then second, they
Malaking pera talaga.
blame the administration for it. For crying out loud, Shabu has been around for sa 3 presidents na. In fact, mas
Hindi
grabe
lang.
ngayon.
Time pa ni Cory.
Palang ni Cory.
Oo.
Nandyan na
Actually,
yan.
panahon pa lang ni Marcos, meron na yan.
Ito nakakatawa kasi pagdating ng panahon ni PRRD, they wanted them to fix everything. Kasalanan niya lahat. Bakit? Ang traffic sa EDSA, panahon pa ni Marcos ah. Di ba?
Sir Bobby,
di ba?
tama. Yung sa tingin nila kaagad dapat matapos na matapos ni Presidente Duterte lahat ng mga problema within his term. The truth is 6 years is not enough, tol.
No. It's not about 6 years from. You have to understand. Running an administration is almost similar to running a corporation. And Duterte is the CEO. When you sit in a corporation and you have your meeting and you start doing budgets and sales targets, you start setting a target, which is the same thing the president did. He set targets. In a corporation, does the corporation hit all their targets all the time? Absolutely not. Di ba? Alangan naman, pag upo mo as CEO, okay, we will probably target a sales of, you always aim high. And this is what this president did. He aimed high. COVID will be done in December. Ganito will be done in... He started aiming high. If he cannot hit it pala, it becomes a failure. What about everything he hit? Di ba?
Obviously, there are reasons why they are trying to bring down his accomplishments, no? Because of the fact they're looking forward always in the next election cycle. They want to be back in power. So for them to be able to win, they have to really downplay the accomplishments of the president. But let me ask you, Sir Bobby, are you okay? Medyo
Yes.
Sir Bobby, ikaw matagal ka nang nagtatrabaho sa gobyerno. You even you were part of the beat. You've been a journalist since the time of Cory. Sir Bobby, sa iyong observation and if you were to base it on your wide experience in politics, how much has this presidency, this administration, have done in a very short time compared to the other presidents that you've witnessed perform?
Alam mo, itong mga banat kay Presidente is a proof that what he is doing is working. Kasi nga alam ko naman, kilala ko naman lahat yung mga editors ng mga ABS-CBN at saka ng ABC5 at saka yung mga outfits na banatang banat kay Presidente. Karamihan ng mga yon ay really represent the concepts that he's fighting against. Like yung liberalism on the issue of the use of drugs, di ba? Which inalaw lang yung panahon nila Pinoy. Kasi nga para sa kanila, it's always the decision of the people kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin sa buhay. Hindi nga pwede yung ginagawa nga nila nakakasama na sa karamihan, di ba? O dumadami yung addict, dumadami yung problema ng mga pamilya natin. Biro mo, 93% of the barangays have pushers by the time that he became president. Di ba? Nakaka-alarma na yun. Nung nag-umpisa yan
yung panahon ni
diba?
Pinoy, sir, pati, di ba, dun yung medyo nauso yung mga narco generals na tinatawag, yung mga mga involved sa drugs, and President Duterte said in his administration na malapit na tayo maging narco politics yung ating bansa infiltrated or controlled by narco
failed state because drug syndicates were already electing politicians with their money. Imagine that yung mga binabanatan ni Presidente ng mga local officials na involved sa protection, not necessarily in giving actual protection, but kunyari kasama sa mga nagpa-finance, gaya nung ilang mayor na nasa listahan ni Presidente. Yung mga yun involved in financing the drug syndicates in their own cities. Can you imagine that? Talagang ganun kalala ang sitwasyon.
A more prominent example would be, a sitting senator who's in jail right now, si Laila De Lima, na
Oo.
who used drug money to fund, allegedly used drug money to finance her political ambitions.
Ang masama doon, these people allowed, and are even defending up to now, someone, di ba, who allowed her own trusted security guy, di
Mm.
ba, to associate with, deal with, and extort money from known criminals. And they will just say, mas maniniwala kami dyan sa babae na yan kasi babae siya. Hindi tulad ni Duterte na sexy at galit sa babae, di ba? Samantalang siya nga yung questionable yung moral character. Di ba? dahil sa alam natin kung ano yung mga pinagagawa nila.
Ano nga yung sir,
Yung video game niya, di ba, kumakalat sa Quiapo?
Yung meron nga sir, bagong batikos na naman, nagkalat sila ng chismis about Mocha Uson being involved with a married man. And ang nakakatawa doon, even though that's a rumor and it's not true, that's been debunked, but and yet they still spread that rumor. At the same time, they never said anything about Vice President Lenny, or they didn't say anything about even De Lima, who is known who was known to have had a relationship with the driver who is married. Wala silang, diba? Yun yung
wala sa
hypocrisy.
kanila yun eh.
Parang sanay sila sa sa kaplastikan talaga. Ikaw tol, anong take mo diyan sa na yan, sa issue
Well,
na yan?
sa akin naman tol, it's like I said, going back to my question to you, which I think si Sir Bobby answered to, no, na how come they can do, media exposure to that extent, and how come we cannot focus? It's not something probably you or Sir Bobby can answer, but sa akin kasi is we know about what he has done, no? And if, like I said, if you seek perfection, then let's look for a perfect president in the next election. I think my take to that is, yes, I do agree with with what you guys were discussing about the Lima and the one-sided media exposure that we get. How come we cannot, focus on more intelligent issues like the development, the housing projects that are being done for right now for the military in Marawi, the housing that's being is going to be finished in Leyte, which was not, everybody says, tinapos lang ni Duterte, kami nagsimula niyan, di ba? Parang ganun. How come we cannot focus or come out with a media format focusing on the things that has been done right, and you and I agree, no? Not only this administration, in fairness naman to the past administrations, I'm pretty sure they did something right, but not as much as this administration, no? Hindi naman, with all due respect to Pinoy, I still have to find out what he did right, but I'm sure he did something right, and of course si GMA, marami naman silang nagawang tama din. I'm pretty sure that the people will not vote for them if they did not do anything, right. This president that's sitting right now, just like I mentioned in a corporate setting, there's so many moving parts. Tayo nga, hirap nga tayo mag-manage ng pamilya natin. 'Di ba? Na ilan lang tayo. So he is bound to probably, make decisions that doesn't make sense. But he who has no sin cast the first stone. 'Di ba? Why can't we focus on it? Almost sounds like he can never do anything right. He is the greatest drug lord. He is the tuta of China. Pero kung tanungin mo naman ang mga tao, okay, willing ba kayo makipaggera sa China? Di ba? Kasi kung willing kayo, okay, let's fight. You know, it's there's just so many things na I think, although to some people are relevant, na we're not really touching on the relevant issues, which is what this administration has done.
Mm.
Ano, ganito yan eh. Ako, ang suspecha ko talaga, there are really very big vested interests na naapektuhan ng presidency ni PRRD. Unang-una, yung kanyang campaign against illegal drugs. Naapektuhan niya yung one of the biggest drug manufacturing operations in Asia. Dito sa Pilipinas, syempre. Di ba? Kasi tayo ang source ng unang-una, source ng marijuana.
Parang naging
Tapos,
central hub tayo, Sir Bobby.
Oo, naging central hub tayo ng tayo yung dinadaanan at pinanggagalingan ng mga drugs na napupunta sa other parts of the world. Europe, US, di ba? Tapos tayo rin ang pinagbabagsakan dati ng mga drugs na galing sa US gaya ng cocaine, yung galing sa Mexico, di ba, na mga cocaine, o yung galing sa Colombia na papunta sa Asia, papuntang Japan. Yun ang ating papel natin. Nung naghigpit si Presidente sa drugs, unang-una, di ba? So, na-threaten siyempre yung existence nila. Pangalawa, yung mga negosyante, yung big business that the President started attacking right away. Di ba? Yung mga oligarchs, yung member ng economic elite na controlled our economic life as a nation. Yun ang problema natin. And they own and direct the operations of the biggest media entities in the country. ABS-CBN, GMA News, di ba? Inquirer, Philippine Star, everything. Tapos yung mga editors pa ng mga dyaryo na yon, tsaka ng mga TV networks na yon, karamihan sa kanila ay mga known leftist elements ng mga bata sila na hanggang ngayon, di ba, kaya mas pinoprotektahan nila yung mga karakter na gaya ni Joe Macizo. Kasi mga kaliwa nga sila eh, di ba? At dahil kaliwa sila, di ba, kung ano man yung ginagawa ng gobyerno lagi, ay kalaban sila. Di ba?
Tsaka, Sir Bobby, mapapansin mo.
Any effort, any thing that they can...
And Ron.
Yes.
Ron. Okay, since nakahang si Sir Bobby, no? Sa akin kasi, it all boils down, we're talking about something kasi na does not come out of mainstream media, no? And for me, this has always been a puzzle because, like for example, the Desera case, yung police na nakapatay ng nanay pati bata, how many times yun na pabalik-balik? But yung ating efforts ng PDEA, when they, you know, these men work hard. Shout out to a good friend, Director General Villanueva, a good friend of mine, who has been, you know, fighting this war since 1998. Yun yung mga worthy na news na ano, lumalabas lang one time. Di ba? Isang beses lang lumalabas. And then ang nakakatawa, they concentrate on issues that you know, like yung pagpatay ng nanay pati bata. I'm not saying it's not a worthy issue, no? And of course yung Desera na case. And then all the time na si swing papunta sa incompetency ng administration.
Ginagamit talaga yan, Tol. Even if ang ano dyan, the best indicator of what the media is trying to do is when you actually read some of the responses, or I don't know if it's fabricated. I can't tell, but I'm sure Sir Bobby would say that it's in even the message boards of all these Facebook pages owned by the media companies, yung mga sumasagot doon, yung mga
Ay, may
nagpo-post
mga
doon,
operator rin.
may mga operator doon na talagang sinasadya nila
Malakas talaga.
to
Malakas
to
ang
ride on the
operator.
issues. So kunyari may Dasera case, merong case doon sa yung pulis na pumatay ng mag-ina. Ang gagawin nitong mga troll na to, magpo-post sila, mag-message rin sila doon sa sa thread or doon sa news article, doon sa baba, sasabihin nila, tingnan mo, walang ginawa talaga tong Duterte administration, bumabalik na, grabe na ang krimen. Grabe na yung ang gulo na ngayon sa Pilipinas. Tapos yun, they're gonna try to fabricate noise. They're gonna try to generate noise by making all of these comments. But the truth is, they're just about 50 people doing that, and they're saying the same thing. And what they want is for people to think na, uy, nga, no, baka nga medyo magulo na sa Pilipinas. Ang maganda lang dyan, Tol, yung proof, kung yung tinatawag natin na sinasabi na the proof is in the pudding, di ba?
Mhm.
Karamihan ng mga tao na to, hindi naman nila na-experience yung mga reklamo ng mga kabila. So, ibig sabihin, alam nila hindi totoo. Kahit na nakikita nila sa news, hindi ko naman na-experience yun. Bakit ba nila sinasabi na magulo? Karamihan ng tao, ganun ang feeling. I think that 91% who said that they are very happy with the performance of this president, they know what's been going on, yung katotohanan. Ang maganda dyan, we have social media that's constantly reminding people and telling people that this is the accomplishment of the government. And even if the mainstream media doesn't comply or even cooperate in terms of promoting all the good work, meron pa rin tayong other sources. Hindi kagaya ng panahon siguro, Sir Bobby, ni Cory Aquino, na lahat dependent sa Inquirer, dependent sa GMA, dependent sa ABS-CBN, sa balita. So lahat yan,
Yeah.
kaya control ang utak ng populace. Because
Kaya nga maganda yung yung social media. Now the people are able to secure the information that they want and they need directly with no mediator. Kasi dati nga talaga kontrolado lang ng Inquirer at ng ABS-CBN yung information na nakakarating sa mga tao.
Tama.
Kaya nga kitang-kita naman natin yan sa mga surveys na kahit todo banat sila, yung approval rating ni PRD ang taas pa rin. Kasi nakikita ng mga tao talaga with their own eyes, di ba? With their own experience, kung ano talaga yung epekto ng mga pinagagawa ni PRD sa atin.
Mm-mm. Tol, yes, you want to say
No.
something?
I wanted to say something kasi nakakatawa because I actually did like my own survey when I watched the news ba. So natatawa ako ba like even with the COVID crisis and how it's been handled gani. And I was thinking to myself, what would Mar have done if he was president? No, during the COVID crisis. And now they're making a big issue about the vaccine. Parang ganun ba? Parang nung sabi ni Duterte magkakaroon tayo ng vaccine ng December, 'di ba? Na-slide lang siya ng tatlong kasalanan na niya, wala tayong vaccine. Ang ibang bansa meron na. Ang lahat 'yan. And for me it's always like everybody is just waiting for him to make a mistake.
Mm.
Parang yun ang parang let's wait until this guy makes a mistake and then let's feast on it. Parang ganoon. And it makes me laugh.
Kulang yan, Tol. They're all waiting for the president to slip, for the administration to slip.
Yeah.
But if they can't convince people about their narrative, they're gonna call you bobo. Tanga talaga itong mga EDS, tanga itong mga supporters ni Presidente, mga bobo to. Hindi nag-iisip. Ganyan mga banat. Yun yung kanilang
So that's why like for me, I take it with a grain of salt. And like I said, it's we can talk about this for a week and we can laugh about this, But sa akin kasi it's a year and a half or barely a year and a half na lang na naiiwan, And I'm pretty sure that CPRD is also really tired already. So sa akin naman is I think that after these 6 years, the Filipinos are intelligent enough naman to realize if they want continuity, if they want change, diba? But it still depends on the people. And of course, Sir Bobby was right in saying that hindi na naniniwala ang tao. I think that
Matatalo sila, huwag ka magalala.
so parang ganun ba? And so I expect in the next 2 years there'll be like a last ditch effort to actually destroy the administration and whoever the administration will support in the coming election. They will work double time in doing that. But like I said, there as much as there is no perfect family, there is no perfect organization. I believe in fairness, this is also not a perfect administration, but it is not Duterte's fault. Okay? 'Di ba? It is not ako nga po, Sir Bobby, 4 kami lalaki, and my mom was a widow 1985 pa, so pinalaki niya kami lahat. 4 kami, hindi pa niya kami ma-handle. And I remember my mom even telling me at a certain point, PJ, you will be the death of me. Parang ganun pa. 4 na kami, ha? Ang taas naman ang expectation natin sa presidente, no? So sa akin, in the coming year and a half, I think hindi naman ito closing remarks. I think this administration has just started. Because if you look at it, no administration ever since the Philippines became a republic has gone through all the calamities that this administration, from the day he sat to this day, walang administration dumaan yan. And I think Sir Bobby can attest to that. Bagyo back-to-back, gera sa Marawi, lindol, COVID, di ba? Nag-worsen ang traffic. Nag-worsen ang traffic. Di ba? This is the worst it's ever been. But, he's trying to do something about it. Shout out to MMDA. I have a good friend there.
MMDA, even si DPWH, Mark Villar.
Correct, Mark Villar. Diba?
Si Art Tugade ng DOT.
So that's why right now, like I said, probably you're already, about to close. I'd like to also, honor these people who kahit na binabatikos left and right, and can actually resign right away. Nobody can take this beating all the time. Like, for example, these people have families, So for them, for those who are working hard, Sir Bobby used to be in government. Hindi rin madali ang trabaho. Di ba? Yeah. Especially kung nagtatrabaho ka, binabato ka pa. Di ba? So, malalaman naman yan because the people who are not worthy will not win in the next election.
Yes.
Okay, may it be senators, may it be congressmen, they're not going to win. Diba? Ganun
and you know what? People will remember what they've been doing in the last 5 years in this administration. Of all they did the whole time was throw shade at this administration. And they will remember that come 2022. So don't worry, itong mga tao nito. Yung 2019, Sir Bobby, tingnan mo naman, clean sweep yung anong tawag dun sa kanilang yung bago nilang rebranding ng kanilang partido. Sir, ano yung tawag dun sa kanilang sa party nila nila Jokno?
Na post kayo siya. And now where Sir Bobby is frozen, no?
Sa akin sa inodoro.
So sa akin also, Ron, in as far as, because we started with Mamasapano, no? And this involves the military. Yes. My take on that, and my heart goes out to the military, because the funny thing is, if they make a mistake, it's mainstream media, and the military has gotten worse because under Duterte's administration. But these people still rely on the military when calamities come. So, I believe that if you know how to dish it, you should know how to take it also, ba? Yung parang sa kumbaga, ang akin lang is for us to judge the whole military organization as a whole because of a few mistakes a few people did. Once again, it's not fair. Because I have seen how hard the military has worked because of all the calamities, yung gera sa Marawi, yung frontliners sila sa COVID.
Actually, Tol,
majority has been doing their jobs, so
I agree with you, Tol. I think of all the, going back to the different administrations, I think this military has never been better. Kumbaga, this is the best the military has ever been uh,
absolutely,
during the time
absolutely.
of PRRD. No?
Correct,
In
correct.
terms
And if people, if they, if people do not agree, then that is their opinion. But sa akin kasi, it's based in facts. And in fact, I told you, Ron, that I posted one time na if you are in a family pala and you have 6 children, and 2 of your children out of the 6 become criminals, the whole family are criminals na. Is that supposed to be the ano now? Na kargado na ngayon. Kumbaga, pati tatay, nanay, criminal na because yung dalawang anak nag-decide mag-ibang landas.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's how people think. That's how they
Correct.
cast judgment on situations, on people, which is very unfortunate. That's why it's very important rin, Tol, na as we end this program, we should always give a you want the big takeaway from this conversation for our viewers is that we should remember the military. We should remember SAF44 for their
And by
sacrifice.
the way, Ron, let me add before I forget.
Yeah.
Although we discussed SAF44 and their families, I still believe that the families deserve to know the truth.
Yes. At
That's
least
it.
the very least that justice can provide or give them is the truth. Kung ano talaga ang nangyari.
Kung walang mangyari, nobody goes to jail, bahala na kung ano, it's up to the judicial system of our country. And I am not a lawyer, and nor was I privy to whatever they planned, and neither was Sir Bobby. Sila lang nakaalam ano talaga nangyari. But I guess the families deserve the truth. Whether they get it or not, I don't know. But I think that they deserve the truth, being a son of a military man.
Sir Bobby, your final word on our topic and what this
You know,
moving
alam mo
forward,
ako,
what
I
this
never,
lesson we can derive from it.
alam mo sa akin, I never lost my trust in the people. Our people know the truth. Kahit na ano pang sabihin ng mga nandoon sa media at saka ng mga politiko at saka ng mga nasa oposisyon at saka ng mga mayayaman, di ba? Ang mga tao nag-iisip din yan. Alam nila kung ano ang nangyayari, nakikita nila sa mga mata nila kung papaanong yung mga lumalabas sa media ay talagang hindi totoo at exaggerated. Kaya tiwala ako, gaya nung nangyari nung 2000 itong nakaraang eleksyon 2019, di ba? Na the public, the voters will not vote anymore for people who represent elite thinking. Kumbaga, akala nyo kayo lang ang magagaling sa mundo, di ba? Na yung mga taong bayan, hindi nila alam kung anong ginagawa nila. Ang sagot nila ay ito, yung boto ko, di ba? Ito yung boto ko, hindi ko iboboto, yung nagre-represent ng inyong kaisipan na mali.
Thank you, Sir
Tiwala
Bobby. Naalala ko tuloy, Sir Bobby, yung before we end, I just remembered one thing that went viral today was yung anak ni Senator Pangilinan, si Kaki Pangilinan, naglabas ng message na kineri ng media about President Duterte showing his national ID. Tapos in the wrong context, making it appear that the ID is fake, it's not his name on the ID kasi sinuper zoom pa niya, just to make it appear as if that the president is sort of like making bola na I just got my ID. Hindi pala yun yung konteksto nung anong balita. Kumbaga yung totoong balita, and the funny thing is, even it's ABS-CBN who reported it correctly, that the president is just inspecting what the ID looks like. Hindi na pinapakita niya yung ID niya yon. Pero tinwist kaagad nila and the media carried it. Diyan mo makikita
Yes.
na AF is kaki pagilinan at bakit parati lang kinukote tong batang ito na ang kanilang description of her pa is singer. Hindi naman siya singer. Dahil anak lang siya ng senador.
Diyan mo makita, Ron, na desperate na kasi cheap shots na eh. Cheap shots na.
Kaya,
Tama. Keep
kaya,
that.
kaya naman sasabi ko lang, Tol, Sir Bobby, is itong t-shirt na to sa mga kagaya ni Trillanes at yung mga opposition, no way talaga. Hindi na kayo mananalo. At
Trillanes, walang kumaniwala doon. Kilala ko nag-aabot ng pera sa kanya nung nag-hearing kay B9.
Sir, gusto mo makita yung tattoo ko sa likod? Oh. First of all, loko-loko talaga, sir. No? Tawa kami ng tawa nung nag-hearing sa Senado. Nagsayang talaga siya ng panahon at saka resources. Sinayang niya ang oras ng mga tao ng publiko. Hindi na po
Tama
mananalo si Trillanes. Sana naman wag tayong maging makalimutin sa mga pinanggagawa niyang kalokohan. Yeah, kaya yan pa isang
work on that too.
why are they quoting Trillanes or even interviewing him when he doesn't have anything to do with government anymore? Ano ba ito? Ano ba tong media na to? To answer your question, Tol, yan ang kasagutan. Bakit ba ang media masyadong adversarial sa presidente? Evidence is why are they talking to people who have nothing to offer in the conversation because they have nothing to say that is good.
Yeah.
Sir Bobby, maraming salamat sa iyong time, ha. I know you're
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, PJ.
si USEC, former USEC ni GMA, Sir Bobby Capco. Maraming salamat, sir, for joining us on Istoryang Futbolero. Tol, sana hindi to ang last time that you will join us. Apparently, you're gaining a lot of admirers on our message board. Nag-enjoy sila sa conversation natin ngayon with Sir Bobby. At salamat sa inyong lahat. No? I'm just gonna mention some of them. Winnie Santos, Says Trillanos No Way, Lawrence Aquino, thank you so much for watching. Dominic Solpico, Beth Ledesma, Fel Fresco, Marivic Solis, si Coco Liardogs 2, also si Melody Miguerza, and to those of you na hindi natin na-mention, no, pasensya na po kasi ang dami pong mga mensahe na pumasok sa ating message board. Si Yurina Bucan, Mariles Flamiano, and the ones who are watching all the way from Japan, from the Middle East, from sometimes, Tol, meron din tayo nakikinig all the way from Canada, from the US, from the UK. Thank you so much for watching Istoryang Futbolero. We're still working on the guesting of the very famous former Senator JPE. Sana po ay tanggapin niyo yung aming invitation na mag-guest sa Istoryang Futbolero. We will keep you updated on that. And once he is here, Tol, baka gusto mo, if you want to join us, feel free to do so. Sir Bobby, I hope this is not the last time, ha? Kasi alam ko, medyo ilusog ka sa mga late night na mga,
Nag-enjoy ako sa iyo, Sir Bobby. Honestly, it was a pleasure.
Antokin ako eh.
I had fun. I had fun listening to you.
Grabe si Sir Bobby, sobrang wealth of experience and knowledge, and also kanyang
No holds barred.
No holds barred. Marami siyang alam na marami siyang
bakit pa ako bakit pa ako magsisinungaling, matanda na ako.
Correct. Tapos meron pa tayo si Roel Ora from Doha, and Melody, we will end with her comment. Nice discussion here. Thanks so much, Sir PJ, Sir Ron, and Sir Bobby. So, with that, Tol, thank you so much, Sir Bobby.
Thank you, Thank you, Sir Bobby.
And we bid you goodbye, and we will be back on Wednesday for more of Istoryang Futbolero. Good night, everyone. See you. Bye.
Night.